It's January 12, 2021. I'm Todd Dunn, and today I'm heading out for a drive up the west side of Mount Desert Island. I'm going to drive through the town of Tremont from Bass Harbor in the south up to Center in the north, right up to the border with the town of Mount Desert. So let's take a look at the map of Mount Desert Island, in which I've shown the boundaries of the four towns: Bar Harbor, Mount Desert, Southwest Harbor, and Tremont. As you'll notice, Tremont's on the west side of the island, so let's zoom in there a little bit. And you can see the black line going up the west side. We're going to start at the bottom of the image there, which is in the south, and head north up that line to the boundary between Tremont and Mount Desert. And I'm going to refer to the locations on this map as we continue. Let's get going. Okay, we're underway, and right now we are in Bass Harbor, the village, which is on the eastern side of Bass Harbor, the harbor. And we are heading more or less north right now until we get out to the main road. We're still on Route 102A. And we're going to drive right through the core of Bass Harbor. I should say a little bit about Bass Harbor. Bass Harbor is not a particularly commercial place. In fact, right now, there are, if you will, sort of three businesses open in the broadest sense of the word. One is the state ferry dock. The second one, which we're passing right now, is the United States Post Office. I guess it's a business. You can buy stamps and pay for postage. And then up here a little bit where we won't be going, there is a convenience store / gas station, but it really only has snack food, and I think they may have milk. I'm not 100% sure. And they also have some takeout sandwiches and things like that. So here we are, cruising up along the eastern side of Bass Harbor. It looks like the tide is pretty far out right now. And we will continue up here for a little bit, and then we will go around the north end of Bass Harbor into the village of Bernard. So that pretty much covers Bass Harbor. Oh, I should say, in the summer there is more business activity here, and in that there are two restaurants, but they're only open in the summer, and right now they're completely closed up, and they won't open again until probably late May or early June. Okay, we're just coming up to make a left turn where we're going to head over toward the head or north end of the harbor. So there's not much here. A couple boat storage places. Right here you can see some of the boats under shrink wrap. And that's about it. There's a reason they call this the quiet side of the island, and the main reason for that is there just is almost no commercial activity over here. And it won't be long now before we get to Bernard. As we come up to another turn. This is Route 102 that we're turning onto now. These buildings on the left used to be a lumber yard, but it closed up a few years ago and is just used for storage now. And straight ahead is the Tremont School. We had a dusting of snow this morning, but it was melting before it even finished falling. It's just as you get to the northern end of Bass Harbor right here as we pass a little creek. And we're definitely seeing that we're in Bernard proper. And we'll just continue through because, as I said, I was just over here showing you what it looked like a day or two ago. And we're going to continue up here through West Tremont and Seal Cove, which are also villages in the town of Tremont. This is a boat yard on the left, boat storage. And that's about it. There is one other boat yard just up here. Another couple hundred yards. And there's also a campground. Although I don't know if the campground is in Bernard proper. And as you can see, this is not the most built up town. Okay, right here is the classic boat shop on the right. Can't see much of it. They've got quite a big boat storage building, and they build day sailors. And we're going to pass the Quiet Side Campground right here. And it's a small campground. Of course, it's closed. This road basically goes north-south up the west side of Mount Desert Island, as you can see on the map. And there are a few spots where it comes close to the water. Right here is one of them. You can't really see it though. We're only 100 yards from saltwater. But mostly it's inland, and you have to go out roads that go out to various points to actually see the water. But except for where we're headed today, which is Seal Cove, pretty much all of the land here in Tremont on the west side of Mount Desert Island is private property. Seal Cove has a sort of municipal boat ramp and picnic area where you can get right down to the water. And then on the west side of Mount Desert Island, the only other public access to the water is in a little bit of Acadia National Park, which is the Pretty Marsh picnic area, which I have made a video about in the past. Okay, we're continuing north up the west side of Mount Desert Island. As we come into another tiny little village. We're just about there. And not much here, just a few houses, a church. We passed a tiny little post office back there. As we drive through here. This is the village of West Tremont. But really, it's not even a wide spot in the road as we continue north. And I don't know if you can see it in the video with stabilization on the GoPro, but this road is pretty bumpy, and in the spring when we're getting a lot of freeze thaw, this road will get pretty bad frost heaves. And although the speed limit here is 40 miles an hour, you're kind of nuts to drive that fast. we go into the village of Seal Cove. And there is another sort of village center up here just a little bit. And you'll see Seal Cove. Seal Cove is actually spread out quite a bit. The main attractions in Seal Cove are the access to the water at Seal Cove proper, which is a cove on the west side of the island. Right here where the flag is the Seal Cove post office. And a few houses. And as you can see, not much in the way of businesses. At least no retail businesses. The only business of any kind right here in this part of Seal Cove is the local Redemption Center, which we see the sign for here, Harper's. That is not a place where you can go for spiritual redemption. You can take your empty cans and bottles back. And the only other thing in Seal Cove is the Seal Cove Auto Museum, which I believe has been closed this year because of the COVID-19 situation. But it is an interesting museum with a collection of old cars dating back to essentially almost 1900. I think they may even have a couple of sort of motorized carriages that go back before 1900. And they also have a collection of old motorcycles. It's an interesting place to drop into. As we cruise through metropolitan Seal Cove. What I'm going to do today is drive all the way up to the town line with the town of Mount Desert, which extends all the way across the middle of the island, and then we will come back and go over to Seal Cove proper. This road right here, Cape Avenue, is the road that goes to Seal Cove. You have to know that that's where it goes because there's no indication of it. So we'll just drive through here, and we're gonna pass Seal Cove Pond. As we drive up here, on the right hand side, we're seeing the beginnings of Seal Cove Pond, which is frozen now and covered with snow because it has been down in the 20s at night. And basically, from the other side of Seal Cove Pond, east is Acadia National Park. We're still in the village of Seal Cove. And we're coming through another church. And you can see this isn't the most prosperous part of the island. Really see it, but Seal Cove Pond is just off to the right. And another little church. See it in this view, there's more of the pond off to the right. And we're just about to leave this part of Seal Cove, and this is the Seal Cove Auto Museum on the left. Entering the village of Center, which really doesn't amount to anything up here. And we'll continue up here just a little bit, and we will drive out of Tremont into Mount Desert. 2/3 of the way up the west side of Mount Desert Island. And I will indicate these locations on the map. We come up here just a little bit further. And we don't get very far up here before we get to a spot where Acadia National Park is on the right-hand side of the road and private land is on the left. And just when we get into the town of Mount Desert, we will get to the spot where Acadia National Park goes across the road and down to the Pretty Marsh picnic area. But you can see this isn't the most populated part of Mount Desert Island. There are houses here, 100 yards or so off to the right, and a few close to the road, but that's pretty much it. No businesses. Nothing here for tourists, except if you want to continue up into the town of Mount Desert, you can go to the Pretty Marsh picnic area. And also, there are roads just up here a little bit. They go off to the right. They're dirt roads, and they go into the national park and provide access to Long Pond, at least the western side of Long Pond. And there is one spot where the road comes right down to the pond, and you can go out for a swim if you want. Okay, here we are, the boundary between Tremont and Mount Desert. And we are now in Mount Desert, and I'll just go up here a little bit until I find a spot where I can turn around. Okay, this is Seal Cove. As we look kind of northwest here, out into Blue Hill Bay and the islands out there, and toward where the sun is behind the clouds. It's a nice calm day today, and back up to the main part of the harbor. Here's a picnic table and a few trees and a little bench, which is a memorial. We'll see what it says. Okay. In memory of Frank Dinky and Gary Hogden. I believe these are probably fishermen who died in an accident here. Tide is pretty low, as you can see. And you can see all the mooring balls out there. This is a nice, relatively sheltered little harbor to moor in the summer. And as you can see, though, there are no boats here today. So I'm going to walk up to the boat ramp and take a look at it. All right, we're coming up to the boat ramp. You can hear some loons out there. And over here are the docks that are in the water at the boat ramp in the summer. So let's keep going. There's a car passing me. Normally in the summer, when these boat ramps aren't here, you can park your car there or your boat trailer if you want to come up here and launch your boat. And there is no charge to launch your boat here. And as you'll see, this is a pretty good ramp, particularly when all these floats are in the water. And just about there. And here's the ramp. Right here, a little beach on either side. And more mooring balls. And this is pretty much full in the summer with a mix of pleasure boats and lobster boats. As you can see, the tide is out right now. We'll walk out onto the ramp and let you see what it looks like. Right now, with the tide out, you really couldn't launch your boat here. But when the tide is up a bit, this is a good ramp to launch a small boat. You get a good view out over Blue Hill Bay to the west. And right here is where all those floating docks that we saw in the parking area are attached, and they go down alongside the boat ramp, making for an easy place to launch your boat. Okay, so this is Seal Cove, and as you can see here in the middle of January, it's not super crowded. There is one car here, but I don't see any sign of a dinghy on a mooring, which would indicate that somebody was out on a boat that's kept here in the winter. And in fact, normally there are no boats here in the winter. A few waterfront homes there. You can see where they have docks. At least some of them do. And we'll walk back and get one more panoramic view of the cove as we walk up into the other picnic area right here at the boat ramp. The ground is a little snowy, but shouldn't be too bad. So we'll head up here. There are a few picnic tables. It's a little icy. We've had temperatures just above freezing and then going down pretty low at night for the last 10 days or so. So everything is pretty icy. There you go, picnic tables. And this is a really pretty spot in the evening to watch the sunset, unless the wind is blowing out of the west, and then it can be pretty cold here with the wind off the water. Here we go, another picnic table and a view of Blue Hill Bay from the Seal Cove boat ramp. Okay, well, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I just wanted to take you along for a little ride up the west side of Mount Desert Island. And over there you can see my truck, and that's pretty much the end of public access land here. And as I said, this is pretty much the only place other than the Pretty Marsh picnic area, which is about 3 or 4 miles further north, that you can actually access the water on the west side of Mount Desert Island. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little ride today, and hope that you will come back for future videos. If you would like to, please subscribe to my channel click that notification bell so you'll know when my next video is going to be posted. And hope you enjoyed it.